2000 Subaru Forester S front brake pad replacement, front brake rotor replacement, 19mm lug nuts, left to loosen, that's counterclockwise, right to tighten. Jack up the vehicle, has a nice pinch weld here, nice metal here. This might be, yeah, you can probably jack up here in the middle, in the front, and get both sides off of the ground to do the job. So use safety stands, protect yourself. Alright, so we have the brake rotor, brake caliper mounting, and the outer pad is out here, and the inner pad is on the inside. And usually, once the caliper's off, we can tap the rotor off. If it's sticking though, there's 2 bolt holes here, and the bolt is a 8mm by 1.25 thread pitch. Maybe get a 2-incher, and you can screw them in there and force it off. That's an option. And you want to machine or replace the brake pads. You want to machine or replace the brake rotors. We got, I think, 14mm bolts, probably for the caliper, and then maybe 17mm bolts for the bracket. Those are guesses, and we'll see what we got. Go ahead and turn the steering wheel to the left or right, making access to the back bolts easier. I think my steering wheel just locked in place. And 14mm seems to work there. 17mm for the back bolts, but I will often mention in my brake videos and other videos, don't depend on the bolt sizes. Don't depend on the bolt sizes. They can change. If someone replaces a caliper or something, things can change. So just have a good set of sockets and wrenches. So I'm going to get in here hopefully between the rotor and the caliper here, and I'm going to try and collapse the pistons, so we can check the caliper pistons and make sure they actually move properly, and also the slides. So you can always get a great grip. Ooh. Slipping a little bit. If you can't do it, that's fine, but we do want to collapse the pistons and check the slides before you go too much further, because you might end up needing calipers on a vehicle this old. I'm going to go ahead and take one bolt out. We can rotate the caliper up and out probably. So the upper slide is pretty good. Ugh. Lower slide is pretty stuck. So this is the good time to say, seriously consider replacing the calipers on your vehicle. Because the slide doesn't work, it's stuck. So this is my own personal vehicle, so I'm probably going to take the caliper off. I'm going to put it in the vise and work it around. Hopefully we'll get this out. So here's your inner brake pad and outer brake pad. You can see these are really nice. This is actually my own cheapo vehicle I picked up, get me back and forth to work. But anyway, we'll continue taking the caliper off, bracket, and then we'll get the rotor off. As often happens, this bolt for the strut is interfering with getting that, so I'll be using a 17mm wrench to get that bolt out. There we go, that is removing your front brake pads and rotors basically. So we'll just pop these out, they just slide in and out of the grooves. You can clean these up or replace them. Sometimes you get new hardware with your brake pads depending on how much money you're spending, so you can clean these up or replace them. They just are friction fit. Just pull them out of the groove. Snap back into place. Pretty easy peasy. So of course you get your machine door replaced, new rotor slid back on. Got your caliper, put some caliper lubricant on the slides. Just take them out, put some caliper lube on them, put them back in. So just mount this again. Clean these up, we'll replace them as we talked about. Nothing a little torching and vice gripping wouldn't take care of, heating this up to get that stupid slide apart. I would definitely recommend you replace your caliper. Going to snug those down tight. I'll probably give you torque specs though in a bit. Put a little lubricant on the ends as well. Don't put it on the pad, just a little bit on the ends where it fits in the slides here. So I have our large channel locks. You can use a large C-clamp and collapse the pistons too. Put the old brake pad in there and then squeeze it to collapse them. Put a little lubricant on the pistons also in here. Start all bolts by hand if I haven't mentioned that yet. Do the same for the other side, and that is replacing your front brake pads and rotors on your 2000 Subaru Legacy. My car, Subaru Forester, 2000 Subaru Forester S. I'll give you the torque specs, then we'll go to the master cylinder. About 65 foot-pounds for the bracket, about 30 foot-pounds for the two caliper bolts, and the wheel lug nut torque spec says is like 58 to 72 foot-pounds. I'd certainly go to 72 for sure. Alright, master cylinder. So here's the master cylinder on the 2000 Subaru. Cap just turns off. Keep an eye on the level. Brake fluid can do damage to paint, so if you're keeping your car nice, then try and keep it from overflowing and spilling out. There's a maximum and a minimum here, so just try and keep it between there. Collapsing the pistons, fluid's going to come up, so don't let it overflow. When you're all done, go ahead and pump the brake pedal a few times, as long as it's probably above the minimum. That'll set the calipers in the fluid level where it needs to be, and then we can go ahead and top it off as needed to get it close to the max level. So that would be it for your master cylinder. if it's really full, you can maybe suck some out with a turkey baster or a clean rag, absorb some out, so it doesn't spill over before you do the job. There you go. That is really it. .3 brake fluid, master cylinder. That is it for your front brake pad replacement. 2000 Subaru Forester S. Many makes, models, and years for Subaru.